Gemini, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. My name is Michelle if you're just discovering this channel, and please do like this video and subscribe to the channel so you get the weekly updates. One will come out every single week for you guys. This is all based on your sun sign, but it is not a horoscope. I'm going to go over based on where your sun sign is located within the sign of Gemini, what aspects and transits it's going to be experiencing and interacting with. So we're going to go over the primary aspects and the primary transits that are going to directly impact your natal sun. Now, how do I know where your natal sun is located? I don't. So I'm going to break down the sign of Gemini into 3 separate parts, which we call decants. Decant 1, 2, and 3. Decant 1 is located between 0 and 10 degrees. So if your natal sun is between 0 and 10 degrees, you are a Gemini 1. If your natal sun is located between 10 and 20 degrees Gemini, you are a Gemini 2. And if your natal sun is located between 20 and 30 degrees Gemini, you are a Gemini 3. We break it down this way so we can get more accurate, though general, more accurate angles so we can understand what your natal sun is experiencing. So if you are very into astrology and you know that your natal ascendant is at 5 degrees Gemini, you can definitely, yes, you're right, it'll still form the sextile to where I'm saying the sun is, but it won't be the same energy, right? Because you'll know that a sextile between Pluto and an ascendant is not the same as a sextile between Pluto and the sun. So if you're clever enough and you can manipulate that, then feel free, go ahead. I'm going to discuss the planetary aspects based on their angles and based on their general angles. So first, we're going to start as general as possible, and it is a pretty active week for you guys. I'm not going to say anything else. It's just it is extremely active. Between Pisces and Taurus, that's the active section of the zodiac right now. So there's a lot of activity going on between you guys, between all you guys. And for you, Gemini, you still have Mars in the 3rd decant, right? Because Mars is at 22 degrees Gemini. So for those of you who are Gemini 3s, where your natal sun is between 20 and 30 degrees Gemini, Mars is in conjunction with you, which means it's combining its energy with your natal sun. And Mars combined your natal sun could be very explosive. It's very energizing, energetic, very physical. You want to take a lot of physical action. You want to move. You want to take control of that energy before it takes control of you. Let yourself move. Be more active. Don't take risks, but do something to use that energy in a good way, a positive way. Exercise, go running, go biking, do something that you know that you can. Go dancing, right? Go swimming, go, just like jump rope or go roller skating. Something that you know that you're good at, and it's a good way to get physical, but also get that extra energy out and put it to good use. Work harder, absolutely. Focus your energy into if you can, focus your energy into a specific goal. You have so much energy right now, you guys, that you definitely should use it. But what's happening with Mars is really impacting, what's happening with Mars is primarily impacting Gemini 3s. What's happening with Mercury is impacting you all. And it'll impact you in a general way, but we're going to start there and we're going to go over it. So Mercury is your ruling dignitary, which I am sure that you know, and currently it is in Pisces. Pisces is traditionally squared to Gemini because it is another mutable sign. But Mercury is not square to all of your natal suns. It is only square to the natal suns of Gemini 2s because Mercury is at 15 degrees Pisces. By the end of this week, and this reading covers from March 9th to March 15th, by the end of this week, Mercury is going to be square to Gemini 3s because Mercury moves pretty quickly. But for most of this week, it's square to Gemini, the natal suns of Gemini 2s. And what does that mean? It means complications with communications. I didn't get the email, it accidentally went to spam, or I didn't understand what you were saying. Kind of being misinterpreted when you talk, or feeling like you're having a lot of clashes in terms of understanding people. Those challenges are there to make you stronger. Those challenges are there to slow you down down, which it could be very hard to do, right? But it's there to slow you down and make you listen better, and make you develop a sense of patience with yourself and with other people, so that you don't end up exploding or getting really frustrated to the point where you give up. And if you are able to conquer your challenge, believe me when I say you will end up in a much better place, because that's what squares do. They challenge you to help you grow. Now, there's a lot more squares than just that, but we're specifically talking about Mercury and Pisces. And Mercury and Pisces could impact you, all of you, in a way that your mind starts to wander more than it usually does, and you start to dream more than you usually do. Maybe even like not just aspirational dreams, but like you start to actually at nighttime dream more. Have a journal by your bed. Use your natural talent and your natural energy and proclivity to write and take down what these dreams are saying. They're actually not distractions. They're exactly how you're supposed to be communicating now. It's very uncomfortable for Mercury and Pisces. Water, and especially deep water, which is what Pisces is. Neptune doesn't move that way, right? It's like Neptune doesn't move through vibration, which is how, water animals communicate. They communicate through sonar. That's like vibrations, right? Picking up each other's vibrations. That's how Mercury has to suddenly communicate when it's underwater. And ultimately, it's not the most comfortable thing. So if you feel kind of like you're bogged down or your head's a little cloudy, this is when you're being challenged to develop your intuition, not your feelings. Your feelings and emotions don't matter. Your intuition and your instinct and your psychic abilities. This is when you're taught to start at least realizing that you have them, or familiarizing yourself with them, or starting to experience things from a more spiritual perspective. These are all challenges that you'll have while Mercury is in Pisces, and they're challenges that honestly will broaden you and expand you and generally help you to be a better version of yourself if you allow the challenges and learn from them. Now, for those of you who are Gemini ones, you have a major square to your natal sun this week, and that is a square to Saturn. And I gotta say, it's not just for this week, it's basically for the next year. Saturn doesn't move that fast, so especially those of you born between, I would say, 0 and 3 degrees Gemini, so right in the beginning of Gemini season, so right at the end of May, say May 22nd, 23rd, maybe 24th, like those of you who were born then, you're going to feel this big time. You're probably feeling it already because Saturn already entered Pisces, but your natal sun is square to Saturn. And that means that there are conflicts with authority, conflicts with duty, conflicts with responsibility, conflicting conflicts with rules, laws, regulations. All of those things will be complicating things for you. And especially since Saturn is in Pisces, the conflict can be that you don't really know where the conflict is coming from. Or it's like things are in flux, and so you can't get the paperwork you need, but you need it still. And very frustrating. So patience is required, and thinking of things outside the box is going to be required, because it's not like you can do things in that traditional way, and patience is absolutely something that you're gonna have to work on this week. If you're finding yourself clashing with authority figures, it could be because they're distracted by something else that doesn't help you out any, but ultimately it's not necessarily personal. Understanding that may actually really help you deal with whoever you're interacting with or whatever situation you're dealing with. Now, Gemini 2s, those of you born mid-Gemini season, so that's probably basically like June 2nd to June 12th, somewhere around there. You guys, your natal sun is actually square to Mercury most of this week. And since that is your ruling dignitary, and it's already, but you guys are in the actual square to Mercury. So that's sort of internal conflict, right? That's sort of a sense of something that you've always relied on, feeling it being not as useful or available to you as it has been, right? But there is some help, because you guys are also sextile to the conjunction between Jupiter and Chiron. Now, sextiles are opportunities, but chironic opportunities are always hard. So there's a sense of, yes, there's an opportunity to grow from ways that you've suffered, and how do you put that to use when it comes to the square or the challenge with communication this week. Patience and compassion. I'm giving you the answers. I mean, this is legitimately a setup to teach you patience and compassion. You have a very quick wit. You have a very quick mind. You easily figure things out and know what to say. In a situation where all of a sudden now you can't, it's going to teach you to see people from a different perspective that you may have judged or prejudged or been too harsh on because they couldn't use words to describe what they were feeling. They couldn't use words to describe what they were thinking, right? This is almost putting you in their shoes to help you be able to expand your vocabulary and expand your ability to communicate with people who are more different than you. So take these opportunities. Because if you do, since Jupiter is involved and it is in a sextile with your natal sun, even though it is conjunct Chiron, if you do learn and you do develop that compassion, you're talking about huge breakthroughs in your life. Like, Jupiter loves to help people break through, right? But with Chiron there's that grounded energy of, but prove it. You know, what have you gone through? What have you sacrificed? You know, so it's not going to be the easiest week, but it could end up being a very, very, very ultimately productive week if you open your heart. I mean, that's kind of what it's telling you. You guys have such a broad, open mind, and now it's challenging you to open that heart too. Then we have Gemini 3s. So you guys are at the very end of Gemini season, Gemini Cancer cusp, right? And you are going to be sextile to the square. Your natal sun is square to the current sun and Neptune. Now, Neptune and your natal sun has been square for a while. So you guys have been kind of in conflict with the nebulous, right? The confusing, or maybe even conflicts of faith, right? Not really knowing what you believe in or what to believe in. When the sun, like Taurus, I think it's by Friday, when the sun comes in conjunction with Neptune, that's going to give a creative edge to the energy, a sense of actual purpose and inspiration that's coming from that confusion. So there could be some light shed on, or at least more courage, right? More courage to deal with. But since you're square with it, since your natal sun is square with it, there's actually not courage, there's conflict. There's a challenge to have confidence, in this faith. Your faith or what you believed in is being challenged by the end of the week. Mercury is going to be in this conjunction as well. So I think that's going to actually help you out a little bit. I know it's squared energy, and that just means not everything is in your control, and it's bumpy how it comes to you, but this is extremely fantastic energy. Like the sun, Mercury, and Uranus all together is such a brilliant, powerful energy of being able to articulate and have the courage to articulate your aspiration and your faith. So the challenges that you're going through right now are to actually bring you closer to what you believe in and what you want to live your life by, as well as very creative. I would say you guys especially have that dream journal by your bedside. Be ready to write down these crazy ideas that are distracting you. They're not distractions. Write them down and let them inspire you, and be inspired, and let yourself be distracted. Be brave enough to let yourself trust that these distractions aren't distractions, they're inspirations. FYI. Guys, you're looking at a huge, huge week, right? And so leave your comments below, because I definitely want to know what you're experiencing. I want to know if you found out who the ruler of your decant was, like what your decant is. Please leave it in the comments below. That's right, every decant has its own sub-ruler, in addition to the overall ruler of Mercury for Gemini. And I also hope you join me over on Born Without Boundaries Tarot, where I'm going to be posting the weekly tarot card reading like I do every single week. And so you'll get a little bit of more information, and I will enjoy having you there. You can join me for the dailies over here. I pop on and off to do daily astrology updates and live chat so you can interact. And if you want to become a member of the channel, I now have a membership to the channel. So if I'm interacting on those live chats, you get to actually bring your personal questions to me about your personal natal chart or about even a tarot question. I will pull some cards for you if you are a member. So that's just the benefits that membership brings. If not, come join us for the live chat and just chit chat like we always do. I'll be reading the charts instead of the cards. So that will be a daily thing, and I hope that you guys can enjoy us over there. Enjoy us there or join in. Ugh. Have a very good day. Have a very good week. I hope to see you in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.